dear viewers, welcome to a new episode of Diet Myths. I'm Dr. Rula Barakeh from the Sman Diabetes Institute, and today we'll be talking about food storage, because we always talk about healthy food and what you should be eating from a caloric point of view, or the distribution of fat, proteins and carbohydrate, in addition to fiber and water and other minerals. But we need to know that healthy also includes how you store your food, how you prepare your food.
Refrigeration can damage the texture or flavor of many fruits and vegetables. For example, bananas will turn black, tomatoes will lose flavor, and sweet potatoes will harden. If you like some of your produce chilled, refrigerate them only when you're about to eat them. Some fruits like peaches and avocados will ripen faster outside of the fridge. Once they reach their prime, you can store them for up to 3 days in the fridge without sacrificing any quality. There are some fruits and vegetables that produce a gas called ethylene as they ripen, and other fruits and veggies are sensitive to it, causing them to spoil faster. Apples, pears, and plums produce ethylene, so keep them separate from broccoli, green beans, and lettuces. Most fridges have bins where you can control the humidity. Unless you want limp lettuce, a good rule of thumb is if it gets misted at the market, keep it in the humidity bin. Mushrooms don't like humidity, so keep them out of the bin and store them in a paper bag. Rules for the rest of the fridge are pretty easy. Keep the fridge below 40 degrees. Since the back is cooler than the front, put dairy there. Place poultry and other meats on a baking tray on the very bottom. If you have seafood, just put it on top. This will prevent dripping and possible cross-contamination. Eggs should be kept in their original carton and not in the door. However, less perishable items like condiments, jams, and sodas should be stored in the door. You can also keep butter you are currently using here, but the rest of it should be stored in a cooler part of the fridge to last longer. Use a leftover case from a 6-pack of beer to help organize sauces and turn it into a tote for your next barbecue. And there you have it, the proper way to refrigerate.
So today in this episode, we will help you learn what is the best storage technique for the different everyday food items we have. Of course, people usually have one of 3 options: either to keep at room temperature at the pantry, or to refrigerate in the fridge, or to freeze foods in the freezer. I'll start by talking about butter. We buy butter from the supermarkets or the co-ops, and it's there in a refrigerator. We go home and we keep it in the refrigerator as well. So is it safe to eat butter if it was kept at room temperature in the pantry? Well, surprisingly enough, yes, you can leave it for a few days outside and still it's safe. And why is that happening? Because butter is mainly fat, and usually bacteria and other organisms, they are found in water. So since the water content is little, you can safely leave your butter for a few days outside without worrying about the food safety. The flavor may be a little bit off, so that is one thing you have to take into consideration. What I would advise you, if you're going to use the butter and it is refrigerated, please take it out a few hours earlier without worrying about safety, because it will soften and it will be better when you use it in your cooking. It will blend better, especially if you're baking a cake or something of the sort, biscuits or cakes or other stuff that would require butter. Please stay tuned for more food items in the coming segments. Dear viewers, welcome to the second segment of our episode Diet Myths, and today we're talking about food storage. Cheese is another food item that we like, and we have it almost on daily basis, most of us. So if it's a soft cheese, it can last from 1 to 3 weeks. Harder cheeses stay longer. If you buy them in bulk, you can freeze them, no worries about that. It will extend the shelf life. If you want to eat them, keep them in the wrapper. If you unwrap, slice your piece you want to have, tightly wrap it again and keep it in a drawer that is away from other foods, because cheeses usually pick on flavors from other foods. So if you want your cheese with the full flavor, keep it in a separate drawer. So cheese can be left in a refrigerator or a freezer. Eggs. Now we buy our eggs stored in a fridge usually, but this depends really on the manufacturer and the preparation. If eggs are washed, they have to be kept in a fridge. Otherwise, they will sweat, meaning they will have some water on them, and when the water oozes out, bacteria or mold may grow on it, so it becomes not so safe to consume or not safe at all to consume. So if it is washed, keep it in a refrigerator. Usually if you buy it from a refrigerator, most likely the regulations mean in this country they wash it before refrigerating it, so it's safer to keep it in a refrigerator. Meat. We eat meat almost on a daily basis. If you're eating meat, freeze it. If you're planning to eat it within 2 days, you can refrigerate it. To thaw it, you have to get it out of the freezer and place it in a refrigerator in the lower drawer, because you don't want the juices that ooze out of the meat to, these drippings, go to other food and contaminate it. If you want to thaw it under running water, then you put it in a bag that is leak-proof under running water. Do not, and I repeat, do not keep your meat on the counter to thaw. Either the fridge or the cold water or the microwave. If you're going to eat it within 2 days, refrigerate. More than that, in the freezer. So the verdict, freezer or refrigerator. Please stay tuned and we'll let you know more about other food items. Dear viewers, welcome to the third segment of our episode Diet Myths, and we're talking about storage of common foods we eat. Bread. It has always been confusing people whether to keep it in the fridge or on the countertop or in the freezer. Actually, keeping the bread in the fridge will make it stale faster. So either on the countertop outside or freeze it if you choose to keep it in the freezer. If you want to buy bread in bulk, you can freeze it there. But remember, when you get it out, do not put it in the fridge because it won't live long and the flavor would be off. Another thing, so the verdict would be pantry or freezer rather than any other option. Coffee, and a lot of people wonder whether they should freeze it or keep it in the refrigerator if they open the container. The Coffee Association people say no, keep it in a dry, cool place, but not in a refrigerator. So you can put it in a dark container, in a dark place, not humid, dry place, and you're guaranteed fresh coffee every time you brew coffee. Another food item that people really are not sure about storage, of course I get these questions from patients who visit us here at the Thman Diabetes Institute, it's jams. So if you're buying a jam container, you can leave it as long as you want in the pantry, as long as it is sealed. Once opened, it has to be refrigerated. So make sure if you open your jam, have it in the fridge, and the verdict would be countertop or the refrigerator. We have the ketchup and mustard. Well, you all know, and you see them in restaurants kept outside because they are acidic, so they're likely to stay fresh at room temperature or in the pantry, so you can keep it there. But if you're not planning to use it regularly, then refrigeration may restore freshness at all times. Other sauces, hot sauces, if they're vinegar based, they should be kept outside. If they're chili based, they should be kept in the refrigerator. Otherwise, the taste would give you an off taste or an off smell if you do that. Peanut butter, if homemade, but I haven't come across anyone in Kuwait who does their homemade peanut butter. So if it is manufactured, you can leave it at room temperature, no worries about that, but not longer than 3 months. If you're not likely to eat peanuts and finish the container in 3 months, your best option is to refrigerate it then. So the verdict would be refrigerator or pantry. I hope that I've captured most of the things people use on daily basis, and I hope that you know now how to store it to guarantee the best flavor, food safety, and freshness. Hope to see you in other episodes. Thank you very much.